Hey everyone. Yes, I am back, and basically 2 weeks late, but I'm here with Vulcan. Better late than never. Sorry to keep ghosting you guys basically, but it was a huge week. I was graduating and just some family stuff, but I wanted to focus on that. But now, hopefully, I'm not making any promises. I'll be able to pump a bunch of videos out. I do have a bunch of brand new figures. I got Black Chrysanthemum, Sergeant Creel, TVC Boba Fett to review, a whole bunch of figures to review, but I obviously want to finish up this Bonebreaker wave because it's coming up on having this wave for about a month, so, I want to get it over with, but without further ado, let's get into the Marvel Legends Vulcan, which is going to be a very important figure for the future of Marvel Legends, the Marvel Legends Vulcan review. Let's get into it. So this is a very important figure for me, so there's a lot I want to talk about and compare, but first I would like to show you the box. And I'm sorry if you hear a lawnmower in the back. My grass is just being cut right now, and I think it'll be there for a while, and I really want to record this video, so we're just gonna push that aside, hopefully, unless it gets too loud. Marvel's Vulcan. Vulcan sets his sights on total galactic conquest. Standing in his way are the X-Men, the Inhumans, the Kree, and his brother Havoc. So if I'm being entirely honest, I don't know, let's say dick about Vulcan. I know that he is Marvel Legend. That's what I know. And I know he's related to Scott Summers and Havoc, I believe, so that's about it. But I think he has Superman powers. He shoots stuff from his eyes, so original as always. But the figure itself, there you can see the box. You can see I didn't know that he was kind of a villain. I genuinely just figured that out by reading the box. But you can see the back. Cool figure, like the image. I mean, you can see that he has this effects all over him, which would have been cool to get the figure, but it's Marvel Legends, so can't ask for that much. But the figure himself is, in my opinion, absolutely amazing. Now, it's not because it's Vulcan. Like I said, I don't know anything about Vulcan, but it's because Marvel Legends, this body is the future. If you want a figure that's the future of Marvel Legends, it's this figure, because this has been what we've been wanting for years now. So if you don't know, this is supposed to be a replacement for the, you know what, I'm gonna call it legendary, not because it's good, just because it's like the face of Marvel Legends, in my opinion, the Bucky Cap mold. Now, this is one of the more recent figures on the Bucky Cap mold, Spy Master from the Black Widow wave from 2020, but he was getting very, the mold was getting old, and you could tell by every figure that they would release. So it would just kind of keep getting worse, the quality, because they've been reusing the mold. It felt gummy. This figure just feels very cheap and gummy and doesn't feel like the quality that Marvel Legends should be. But now that we have this new body, I'm so happy that we have this, because it's bad for the reason that now I want all the figures that we had on the Bucky Cap mold on this mold, which I'm sure we'll get some, but I'm happy that this mold is basically done with, because we've had our fun. It was good. I think it lasted a little longer than it should have, and it was on a little too many figures, but I'm so happy that I'm not going to hopefully have to unbox that many more, Bucky Cap molds. But Vulcan is only included with 2 accessories, being his hands, and they're open hands with the fingernails, so that's pretty cool, and you can just swap them on. I believe they are new hands. I think they are, because it's a new body, but kind of just open hands. The head sculpt itself is very interesting. You can see that they have been implementing the photoreal on some of the comic figures. From a distance, you can't really notice, but obviously when you go close up to it, you can see the staticness of the application of the paint. But a big fan of this head sculpt. Odd hair. It's just this weird gap. I'm sure that's what he looks like, though. The side, the head just looks amazing. Like, for Vulcan, I don't know a lot about him, but based off images, this is like near perfect Vulcan. Now, what I want to focus on is obviously the body, because this is super important, and obviously now I'm thinking Daredevil on this, Black Panther on this. Keep giving me names. Another Bucky Cap. That would be so cool if they made a new Bucky Cap on this mold. That would just be like biblical. That would be that would be so cool, just a full circle moment. But you can see it's very smooth. I don't have a lot of flaws with it. I mean, I have a few small things, but it's towers and towers and leaps and bounds away from the Bucky cap mold. This one, he kind of has a Sketcher logo. It looks like he's the Sketcher dude. Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but let's just say it's a crappy mold. It was good it did what it needed to do, but now we're getting a more expensive and moving on into more higher quality action figures and kind of innovating in different ways, and this definitely keeps up with the line. You obviously have the beautiful pinless arms, pinless knees, and then the most important thing for me is the butterfly joints. Now, obviously, this is basically my main complaint is this is such an important figure, and I don't think the butterfly joints go as far as I would have wished. I'm happy they're there. It's better than not. I mean, you don't get that with Bucky cap. That's some great movement, but when you compare to, like, let's say, where is he? Havoc. Sorry about this. Well, I can't seem to find it. Oh, there he is. So, Havoc, which was my last review of this wave, you can see that the butterfly joints have such a insane range, and obviously it doesn't look natural, but it's better to have, in my opinion, than not to have. And with this one, it's just that much, which it's good. The more I've had this figure, the less I've kind of complained about it. Also, while we're at it, this is one of the earlier Bucky cap molds, and you can see that it's still crappy, obviously, but you can hear the ratchets. It's very firm. It feels very well put together. And then you get to this one, and it's just like gummy and like bendable, and this one is like pretty good quality, but it's not a huge difference, obviously, but you can just see it's chipping. It's, you know, this is the future, and I'm happy we're done with these. I probably have more Bucky cap figures than I can count, but anyway, you can see his X-Men belt, which I'm confused as to why he has that, because he seems like a villain. Maybe he was an X-Men. If you can explain, I'll do some research, I'm sure, but obviously the most important thing is the ass, okay? Because this is the future of Marvel Legends. This ass is going to be on so many... No, I'm kidding. But, you know, it works, okay? Let's move past that. You can see the boots in this odd color. It's very swirly, twirly. You can see the mold. You can see all the swirls from the plastic. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but it doesn't detract from the figure. But I've been talking about this figure for way too long, so let's get into his articulation. Articulation on Vulcan. Very important. Head goes up that much, down that much. Great movement. You get a little bit of tilt, which is more than you would get with Bucky cap and full 360. Obviously, the arms go out that far, which is a great amount, and the butterfly joints go that far out. Like I said, they go down, they go full 360. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, which go in a great amount. Beautiful, like especially with the size of the bicep. If you look at Havoc, the arms never went in that far, so just great to get. And then the hands, all the hands go up, down, full 360. The ab crunch goes down that much, back that much. You can see what it kind of looks like. There's a full 360, obviously, and then the legs kick forward that much. Back, not a lot. He can do the splits that much. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then the boot swivel, which goes full 360, and ankle pivot that goes up, down, and okay, here we go. Let's not break him. Ankle pivot, but that's Vulcan's articulation. Definitely a improvement. So if I'm being entirely honest, I do not really know who to compare this figure to, so I'm going to compare him to Havoc, one of his brothers. Same figure from the same wave, so maybe that was intentional. You can see Wolverine from the same wave. Very good figure now that I've had it for a while. And then who else do we have in my comparison bin here? Oh, here. This is what I want to compare him to. Scott Summers. So you can see all of those together, and then maybe we can compare them next to the Bucky cap mold. So you can see similar height, if not exactly the same. No, not exactly the same, but very similar nonetheless. Just, you know, way better the new one is. But that is the comparisons I have for him. Let's get on to, how does this go again? my final thoughts. So one thing I did just notice that I'm not a huge fan of is on the butterfly joints, and I hope they could try to improve this, but there is this line that is just shown, and even when it's from a distance, you can definitely notice it, but not a huge fan of that. Whatever. But overall, the Vulcan figure, not buying it for Vulcan. I bought it because I wanted A, the Build-A-Figure piece, and B, this brand new mold, which I've been looking forward to for months now, and I'm so happy to finally have it. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait. Just, like, even one more figure. I just want to see, like, what they can do with this. Obviously, I have so many ideas of what they can do with this, and I'm sure we'll get most of those. But, yeah, until those figures come out and I review them, I have been Jagger Collector. I'm going to give this Vulcan a 9 out of 10. The only things that retract it is maybe some more accessories would have helped, and the butterfly joints don't work as much as I would like them to. But, like I said, 9 out of 10. And until my next video, which is going to be Chrysanthemum, which I'm very excited about because I haven't seen a lot of people have those comic figures yet. I will see you in my next video. Like, subscribe. Bye, guys.